Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants. I'm Jen. I'm a health educator, a coach, and a master herbalist, and I'm with Dan.
Hey, I'm Dan, your exercise specialist and fellow master herbalist. Today, we're diving into an intriguing topic, the role of AI and natural healing. With the rapid advancements in technology, it's fascinating to explore how artificial intelligence can support our unique journeys to wellness.
Yes, and so this is one of those topics that I think it just hit me because I was like, wait a minute, how can we use AI in something like this? Because we're all unique, we all have different backgrounds, physically, mentally, spiritually. We were born into this world in a totally different way. And when you get, I mean, I'm 52. And so when you get into your 50s, it's 50 years of different environmental exposures, different foods. How in the world can AI fit in with that? That goes with the one size fits all approach, which I'm totally not in agreement with. And when we look at natural healing, we're always looking at the individual person. What is going on with that person? Are they someone who what is their energy like? Are they someone who tends to be hot, someone tends to be cold? What are their fears? And we look at all the different emotions as well. And so how can AI be brought into the natural healing world?
I don't know, this is all so new. I think that this is an emerging technology and it's coming about so fast. It's like we didn't get a choice in the matter. It's like all of a sudden we're living in an AI world, like it or not.
Yes. So let's look at
And
what AI. We know that AI can do certain things. So like I love looking at genetic analysis.
mhm.
I use AI tools for that to see, like you just give me your raw data, we run it through software, anybody can do it. There's lots of different programs, and you can see your genetic markers and if you what traits you got from each of your parents. So we know AI can do that. I know when I go to a conventional medicine doctor, they put all my information into the computer. So I know it's all in the digital world. So any doctor, I think even the dentist, like we switched dentists and the dentist didn't even need our medical history. So it must all be in there. So I think AI can pull up your medical history. They can examine your genetics and compare those. Um, I guess depending on what you give your doctor. So my doctor, when in their health history forms, will ask me, about food and exercise and stuff like that. But while AI can look at that, how honest are people on those forms?
Yeah.
And there's so much missing from those forms as well. Like if you ask somebody what they ate yesterday or what they ate the last 3 days, like if you ask me, I take you, those of you who follow me on Instagram, you see I post my pictures of what I eat every single day. I can't even tell you what I ate yesterday, even though I took a picture of it and I ate it and I made it, that kind of thing. And so it has a lot of recall issues there. But I think based on what is in the computer, genetics, your medical history, and all that, AI could come up with a protocol, which we definitely have to do another podcast on protocols as well, that could match, herbs and things for you. But I'm not buying into it.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm with you. I think that a computer will never have, it's not like, you go to a human doctor and they've seen hundreds and thousands of patients and they've seen a lot of things. So they can see certain symptoms and probably figure out what's wrong with you. But how does a computer do that? I don't understand. How can they look you over and, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. And like for me, so I was super sick in the wintertime.
mm,
And how many different things did I try? I tried so many different things, and everybody in the world had different advice for me. I went to a couple different doctors even, and nothing seemed to be working. And so if the doctors who know me and people who know me, can't even come up with what will help me in myself. I mean, I went to school of natural healing. I've studied health science for 20 something years. And I couldn't even figure out what was going to help me. And so I don't know how, and that's only one incident, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, how could AI do that?
I don't know. I feel like they're trying to take over human jobs because I read an article on this very topic that in so many years there's not going to be human doctors anymore. I think they're kind of jumping the gun personally, but they
I
said
do
it's going to
too.
take over everything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I do too. I think there's just, yeah, it's
It's like the
like,
brave new
yeah.
world.
Right. So, okay. So let's go back. So I'm thinking about me. So, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. I didn't even know I had symptoms for it. I thought that it was just my personality. And so, if that were the case, so, I met with my doctor the very first time, and he said, you either had to have surgery or radiation. And I said, no. So, what would happen in an AI world? You know, what happens when you say no? What's your alternative? Where do you go from there, right? And
I don't
then,
know.
right. And then when I went to another doctor and I said, I was asking her about gluten and dairy, and she's like, no, food has nothing to do with it. And so if the doctors are not looking at your food and looking at your diet, and the drugs don't do that, they immediately give you the drug instead of addressing these other items, then AI is not either.
Exactly.
And so right now, I think the average American's on 7 prescription drugs. So what? I mean, AI is going to make the medical association a ton of money.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
probably
would just be on meds. Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely not buying into it. And then there's this whole, like, so I do see my doctor virtually. Those of you who don't know, I live in the middle of nowhere, like the middle of nowhere. And so I do see my doctor virtually. I do go to a hospital, it's 22 miles away, to have blood work, and then she reviews my blood work. And she can assess me visually. When I was really sick in December, I did go to a conventional medicine doctor. It was like 7 miles away. And so I did do that. I was just, I had to figure something out, right? So I forgot where I was going with all of this. Oh, but there's a point. So even though I see my doctor virtually, we see each other online, like I'm seeing you online. There's something about actually seeing a person and talking to a person. But then there's a whole nother part of our health that involves human touch. I don't think that we can stay healthy living in a world where we're not um, in community with other people, where we're see, touch, feel, and even so. And maybe it's just me because I know I'm a very sensitive person. I can feel people's emotions, even when I meet with clients on Zoom. I meet with them. I feel their energy, and maybe I don't know if everybody does that or not, but there's something about that too. It's like we're all energetic beings, and we need to feel that. We need to see that. And then AI doesn't look at our emotional states, our mental health, our spiritual health. We all need that as part of our life. And I don't know how AI is going to incorporate that.
I totally agree. I think as humans, because these robots are not human, with humans, we have all these different things we have to look at. I mean, how's our relationship with our husband or wife or parents even? I
Right.
mean, or do we have a spiritual connection with anything? I mean, do we believe in a greater power that's looking over us? And there's so many things that go into this. And I think that I like to see the healthcare system go more to the way we teach, but if you bring AI into it, it's just going to stay down the cold path of cookie
I like that you
cutter
said that. Yeah.
protocols.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's another example. So for adrenal health, a lot of people recommend licorice root. Same thing with gut health. And so here I was, autoimmune disease, severe leaky gut, severe stress. I was burning the candle at both ends for years and years and years and years, severely stressed. But I have a family history of glaucoma. And that is not really general knowledge that that can affect glaucoma. So licorice root can also affect blood pressure. What if AI had put me on licorice root? I don't know what would have happened. And I didn't even know that about licorice root either. Like I took licorice root and I started having eye pressure. Well, for those of you who don't know, one of my autoimmune diseases diagnosis was Graves' disease, which if you've ever seen the bulging eyes, that's thyroid eye disease, so the eyes kind of bulge. And so I was afraid that's what I was getting. But then when I stopped licorice root, my eye stopped. And then I went back and started studying about blood pressure and glaucoma, which is pressure in the eyes. I'm just afraid that AI is going to be, might spit out a protocol, but maybe it's not going to be looking at all of it. And maybe it would, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it examines all the different things. But what about like looking at herbs, because you're an expert in herbs. This past weekend, we had the Heart Summit, and we're looking at herbs, hawthorn and hibiscus and rooibos and all these wonderful heart healing herbs. Well, if someone has a heart condition, I'm not necessarily going to put them on all of those herbs. I need to find out more about them. Some of those are dry. Are you someone who tends to be more dry? Some of them are cooling and some of them are warming. And so you could have a heart condition. You've seen people with the blue lips, maybe they have very low circulation. They're a cold person. If I didn't see them and see that in them, and I didn't ask the right questions, I may put them on an herb that helps their blood, but it might be cooling and it may not be helping them at all. Or I could have someone with a heart condition with a red face and they're hot and you can see the redness in them. Maybe they're holding a lot of anger in there. I need to put them on an herb that's going to cool them and not put them on one of those herbs that's going to make it even worse. And so even though it's a heart condition, even though these are heart herbs, I need to make sure that I'm giving the right herb for the right, I don't know what the word is to say about that person, but their energy, their what's going on with them.
Yes, I totally agree. I don't think at this, level, these AI machines are going to be able to look at a person and know what herb for if they're hot or cold. Maybe in the future, but I think we're probably a long way off from that, And
Yeah, I do too. I do too. Yeah. I think that there are some ways maybe it can maybe help narrow things down.
mhm.
The way we're in an app world, there'll be a million apps. And, so many people now are digging into herbs and learning more and more about herbs, but they also all want protocols, which AI is going to be able to give people protocols. But
Yeah.
I think that it could be dangerous.
Dangerous and ineffective probably for most people because I
Right.
mean, we'll talk about what foods to eat like we do because both of us always teach diet as a foundation.
Right. Right. And so where is this AI getting this nutrition information as well?
Uh-huh.
Because like if you look at the AI protocol, they tell people to eat lots of organ meats.
Oh,
And yeah, and so if you are someone who has, and maybe you would look at the genetics, I don't know, maybe it would, if you have, I don't know, you have LP little a and you have leaky gut, autoimmune, organ meats probably are not right for you, which I didn't give us a medical disclaimer this week. Medical disclaimer, we are not doctors. We are not diagnosing, prescribing, treating. We are not telling you what to do. Please do your own due diligence. Listen to the information. If the information sits right with you, then study it a little further. Never take one person's word. Always look to see what other information is out there. And if something doesn't sit right with you, let us know. Put it in the comments. We want to hear from you. If this is striking a nerve, we want to know. If we said something incorrect, we want to know that too. We are human and we want to make sure that we are giving good, useful information. Yes. So I think that AI could be good maybe in narrowing things down for someone, but I think it leaves out that personal touch, the person's energetics, and like you said, the mental, spiritual aspects of the person as well. Do you have anything else you would like to add to this topic?
I just think that it's just another tool, but I don't think we should rely on it solely, because as you and I know, when somebody's sick, there's a lot of facets that can contribute
Right.
to that. And I mean, sure, this may help us narrow things down like we use it for, I use Chat GPT. It helps me come up with certain ways to say things, but I think this should be used the same way. Okay, maybe it can show us some of the things it could be and just help us put our minds around some things, but we should not use it as our
Mhm.
only input. I think that would
Exactly.
get us in trouble.
Yeah, and then I do like using like AI to compare genetics with blood chemistry and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
a good tool, but definitely not relying on it. Still using the human touch and communicating with another human to get a bigger picture of what's going on.
Yes.
And that before we go, that made me think of something to do with autoimmune, and I can't remember what it was. I lost it.
Mm,
Something, if someone, like in the conventional medicine world, these illnesses are incurable and most often cannot even be reversible, even in like type 2 diabetes. They say you're going to be on medicine, and then when you get worse, we'll increase your medicine. Same with heart disease. We're going to put it on here. When you get worse, we'll increase it. So when we look at that from our world, the natural healing world, functional medicine world, even, we know that in most cases they can be reversed. For me, my antibodies are at 12. So they're not zero. There's still a few antibodies in there, but most people with Hashimoto's or Graves' disease, we're talking about antibodies in the hundreds. And so, I mean, that's fabulous. And so it is
yes.
reversible. There's so many people who have type 2 diabetes that do go off their medications, right? There's even people
Hmm.
with type 1 who can have an A1C in the low fives. I mean, it's amazing. And so it is possible. And I don't think that AI is there. I don't think that whoever's programming the AI is going to be there as well. I think that there's just so much that we need to look at the whole person especially when we're looking at natural healing. And I know you and I both, when we're working with clients, we look at the whole person. It's not just their whatever symptoms they're spitting at us. There's so much more going on. Is listening to their heart, listening to what they're saying. What is their body language saying, and all that, which AI cannot do. Anyway, thank you for listening to us today. Please subscribe to our channel, share it with our friends and your friends, and comment below. Let us know what hit you, what sit right with you. We love to hear from you, and we want to know what else you would like for us to talk about. So thank you.